This is Caitlin Bandy from my channel Bandy's Books, and I am here with my weekly update. If I look a little bit red, it's because I've been out in the sun all day. Oz and I and Luna went and kayaked the Colorado River this morning with a group of our friends. So I got quite a lot of sun. It doesn't look too bad, I guess, in the video, but if you see me like face to face without the lighting, I look like a lobster. So it was a lot of fun. We had a good morning. We kayaked probably 3 or 4 miles in total. We leave from a place called Willow Beach, which is just across the border from Nevada into Arizona. And then we kayaked up to a place that's called the Emerald Caves. And it's because the water looks really bright green and it's really pretty. We had a good time. It was nice to see our handful of friends and do something social. And then afterwards, we stopped by another group of our friends were racing mountain bikes. They downhill bike race. So they were racing in Boulder City, which is just on the other side of the part of the river we were kayaking. So we stopped there on the way home and visited with them, got to watch them get their medals for their day and hang out for a little bit. So it was nice. We got to see pretty much all of our friends in a day. So for the rest of my weekend, which would be Sunday, Monday, and then part of Tuesday, I am planning to just kind of chill. I had a long week. My boss is out of town for the next 3 weeks. And so when he leaves, I have to pick up extra work to cover like his absence, which is fine. I don't mind, but I worked like 12 hours yesterday on Saturday. Yeah. So 8 to 8 basically. And so I'm really exhausted today. And then, going out and kayaking and doing all that. So tomorrow we're just going to take it easy. Usually on Mondays we go for hikes after work when Oz gets home, but instead we're just going to go to the gym and get in a little workout and I'm going to rest for the day so that I'm ready for the week to come. And yeah, so that was nice. Found a cute little Thai restaurant last night that we had some really good food at. So that was another success. So it's been a good weekend so far. I'm happy with it. So that's all that's going on in personal life. Let's talk about books really quick. So this is supposed to be my weekly update on books for the most part. I did a pretty good amount of reading this week. Not quite as good as my first week in April, but definitely still respectable, I think. So I finished She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. This book was on my Trans Girl April TBR. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely a fun, interesting concept. And there was a lot of adventure, badass character. I thought it was a lot of good reading. I enjoyed it. I went through it really fast. So I look forward to reading the second book, which I think is going to release soon. I recently just saw a picture of the cover of it, so I'm very excited about that. And then I read Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. I have a full scale review up on my channel if you're interested in more detail about it. But that one was just okay for me. It wasn't a great book. It wasn't like anything that was mind-blowing or amazing. It was just okay. And then I read An Unkindness of Ghosts by River Solomon. This one was a really interesting book. It is a science fiction, kind of a dystopia. We have like a post-apocalyptic world where everybody's living on a spaceship and they're out in space. And there's a very strict social structure that is enforced. We have people that are basically treated as less based on their race. And it kind of is reminiscent of like the antebellum South, except on a ship with sci-fi elements. I thought it was really clever writing and a really interesting book. It did take me a little while to get into it, but I did enjoy it. And this is the second book that I've read by River Solomon. So I will probably read her third book, Ghost, I think, or no, not Ghost, The Deep. That's what it is. So I'd like to read The Deep eventually. This was also another book for Trans Girl April. So I think effectively gotten through about half of my TBR for that readathon so far. And then I read Freshwater by Akwaeke Emeze. And I enjoyed it. It was a little, I don't know. I had a struggle with really like getting into it initially. And then I got into it, but periodically, sometimes I would get a little bit lost. Overall, I thought it was kind of cool, the idea of having somebody that's like in two different worlds or two different spirits, and the Abanje and all that. It's a pretty interesting concept. Akwaeke Emeze is such a unique writer because I feel like every book that I read by them is completely different from the previous one. So I really respect that. I think it's really indicative of her talent or of their talent that they are able to literally change up genre every time they read, or I mean, every time they write a book. So yeah, I'm impressed because I read Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty and I read Vivek Oji. And it's just, yeah, every single book is so distinctly different. There's only a few writers that I can think of that do that. And then I read As Long as the Lemon Tree Grows by Zulfa Katua. That one was so good. This might be one of my favorite books of the year, but gosh, was it a heartbreaker. Such a gut punch of a book, but the writing was so beautiful. The concept for it was really interesting. It really was impactful for me, and it discussed Syria in a very humanizing way. We follow a character who is living in a war-torn region. She is a pharmacist, and she's basically working as a surgeon in a hospital. And she's really struggling with post-traumatic stress. And having lived with somebody that had severe post-traumatic stress from combat, I think that the writer really, really effectively nailed what that experience is like. Yeah, I haven't felt myself getting super emotional about a book in the way that I did about this one in quite a long time. So definitely, I think this one's going to be on my like top 20 or top 24 of top 24 of 2024, 2023. We're in 2023. Just kidding. No, yes, 2024. I don't know. It's been a long day, guys. Don't judge me. I'm tired. Anyways, it'll probably be one of my top reads of the year. It was a really good book. I started Lore, and it's okay so far. I feel like maybe it's aimed at a younger audience than me. It takes myth and kind of twists it a little bit, and it's okay so far. Yeah, I think Laura is going to be thrust into a position where she has to kind of compete for her safety and well-being. Yeah, we'll see. I'm going to get 50% in and then see like if I want to continue or not. And then the other book that I read was the When the Angels Left the Old Country by Sasha Lamb. This was a really, really good book. I enjoyed it very much. It's about an angel and a demon, and they are protecting their shtetl. And one of the members of their shtetl immigrates to the United States and runs into some trouble. And the angel and the demon kind of sense the trouble, I guess, and they follow after her and end up in the United States. And it was so interesting. Both the angel and demon were really good characters. I loved the friendship between them. I thought it was just a really unique concept. I can't really think of too many books that I've read that were just like this one. So highly recommend that. That was another book that was on my Trans Girl April TBR, and I'm enjoying it so far, or I enjoyed it. I am also working my way through the rest of The Wilder Woman by Ruth Emmy Lang. I am just about finished with it. I don't know why. It was kind of a slow start for me. And then it's starting to pick up. I'm about more than halfway through the book now, and it's starting to like get into the meat of the story, and I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more. And then after that, I have Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shannon McGuire. That's going to be a continuation of a series of hers that I started. I read Behind Every Doorway, I think it's called. They're very skinny. It's like a series of novellas. So I finished that in like months and months ago, and I decided to pick up the rest of the series. I enjoyed it enough. So I have that one on audiobook that I'm going to be listening to soon. Other than that, I'm not sure what I'm going to read next. I have a whole bunch of galleys on NetGalley to get through. So probably something from there. Oh, I'm also I'm listening to rather, The Cherished by Patricia Ward as an audio galley on NetGalley. That's going to be dropping soon, so I need to finish that one up. I'm not loving it. I'm really struggling with it, honestly, mostly because for whatever reason, they put it up for an audio galley on NetGalley, but they haven't yet actually recorded the audiobook of it. So it's a computer generated voice that's reading it, and it has no intonation, inflection, no like tonal qualities. It's just, and then blah, 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 blah. Like it just, without the inflection, without somebody reading it correctly, it just is kind of a struggle. So I've listened to like 10% of it so far, and I'm going to probably struggle through the rest of it. So we will see. Other than that, though, I think, like I said, I have quite a few galleys to get through. I think the next one that I wanted to read was Horse Barbie by Gina Rosero. That one's actually not going to come out until June, so I have a couple more months to read it, but it really fit in with what I was reading for Trans Girl April, so I put it as one of my books for a prompt. So maybe I'll start that one next. I have some really, really good stuff on NetGalley right now. So I have Dancing for Stalin with Christina Izrahi. That one's one that I'm really looking forward to. And then Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. I love Lisa C's books. So I think that'll be really good. And I have Lucky Girl by Irene Muchemi Nudritu. And that one looks really good. I mean, there's so many, well, I have this whole, like, all of those are my galleys right now. And like, they all are really good books. So I'll probably pick something from there to get into, I think, next. And then as far as like my physical TBR, I think I might jump into Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff next. That was one that was on my TBR last month and I didn't make it through. So I'm hoping to knock it off this month. So that's about it, really. You heard a little bit about my weekend so far. You heard about my reading. For the week coming up, I have videos planned. I'm going to be doing a quarter year update and like statistics tomorrow, just because I'm kind of enjoy doing graphs and talking about how things break down. And then Tuesday, we're going to do the quarter year freakout tag. Wednesday, what do we have scheduled for Wednesday? Let me see. Wednesday, we're going to do a book mail video. I like to do like a book mail video once every quarter instead of trying to do it every single month. So I'll show you what I've received in book mail for the first quarter of the year. And then Thursday, we're going to be talking about if you should read problematic authors or not. It's just my personal take on it. And Friday, I'm going to be reviewing In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. And then Saturday, we're going to be posting a recipe for gumbo that is inspired by the book Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour. So we have a very full week of videos. And then I'm also have a project that I've been mulling over starting. I'll talk more about that in my update tomorrow, my quarter year update. But I have a couple projects that I've had spinning in my head, and it's mostly like been, do I have enough time and energy to actually accomplish what I want to accomplish with this? So I think I'm going to be diving into one of those projects, and I'm a little nervous just because it's going to be a lot of work, but it should be really fun. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to continuing a really strong reading month in April. I actually right now have already read enough books. Like, how do I want to say this? Like, I read as many books so far in the first half of April as I would normally read in an entire month. This Never Marathon and being like a team captain has really like caused me to step up my reading. I get a little competitive, and by a little competitive, I mean a lot competitive. And so I've been checking off books at an alarmingly fast rate. I definitely don't want to read like this every single month. I prefer to read like my normal 20 books or so and just enjoy them. I mean, I'm enjoying what I'm reading this month too, but I feel like definitely I'm pushing a little harder and reading a little more than I usually do just because I like in this readathon. But it's cool. It's good. I'm moving stuff off of my massive TVR, which is never a bad thing. So yeah, I hope that everybody is having an enjoyable weekend or had an enjoyable weekend, because I know most people are off Saturday, Sunday. So I hope you got to do lots of fun things, get lots of good reading in. And I hope that the week coming up for you is a good week for you. I hope that if you have to work, that your work days move quickly and that your free time at home is relaxing and enjoyable. And I hope it's full of good books, good food, family, friends, whatever makes you happy. So thanks for dropping by. I hope that this was a good update. And yeah, we'll see you sometime in this week with some new videos. Bye.